You know that little voice in your head, the one that just won't quit? Yeah, we're talking about overthinking. We're going to unpack exactly why it happens. And trust me, the real reason is probably going to surprise you.
Okay, picture this. It's 2 in the morning, you're trying to sleep, but nope. Your brain decides right now is the perfect time to replay that super awkward thing you said in that meeting, 6 hours ago. Or heck, maybe it was 6 years ago. What is up with that? Why do our brains do this to us?
Well, first things first, if that's you, you are so not alone. But here's the kicker. The reason for all that mental chatter, it's probably not what you think it is. We're always told it's just stress, right? Or anxiety. But it goes so much deeper than that. It's actually about the fundamental wiring of your brain.
All right, so let's just get right to it and tear down a huge misconception. For forever, we've been taught that overthinking is some kind of character flaw, a personal weakness, or at best, just a symptom of being way too stressed out. But what if that's the completely wrong way to look at it? And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got the common view. It's a symptom of stress, a personal weakness, something you just gotta suppress. But then you look at it from a neurological point of view and wow, it's a total flip. It's seen as a feature of your brain's wiring, a complex process that we need to understand, not just try to shut down.
Okay, so let's geek out a little bit and dive into that wiring. What is actually going on up there when you're stuck in one of those thought loops? Well, it really boils down to a few key concepts.
So, the first big piece of this puzzle is something called hyperconnectivity. The best way to think about it is like this. Imagine your brain is a giant city. Now, in a hyper-connected brain, it's not just a city with roads. It's a city with extra superhighways and express tunnels connecting every single neighborhood to every other neighborhood. What that means is one single thought can set off this massive chain reaction of ideas, like instantly.
And guess what all those superhighways lead to? You got it. Cognitive loops. This is just the fancy technical term for that 2 a.m. instant replay we were talking about. A thought hops on one of those express lanes, does a full loop-the-loop, and comes right back to where it started, over and over and over again. Your brain is just trying to look at it from every single angle.
And the final ingredient in this recipe is metacognitive monitoring. Okay? Think of this as your brain's internal quality control supervisor. And this supervisor, it is super diligent. It's never satisfied with the first answer. It's always in the background double-checking everything, asking, are we sure about that? Did we miss something? Have we looked at all the possibilities? And that little supervisor is the one who keeps those cognitive loops spinning.
So let's recap. We've got this hyper-connected brain. It's running these endless cognitive loops, and it's all being watched by this super picky supervisor. I mean, it sounds exhausting, doesn't it? It is exhausting. But this is where the whole story takes this really fascinating and honestly kind of empowering turn.
Just think about this for a second. What if all of that mental activity, all that stuff that we've been calling overthinking, what if it isn't a bug in your system? What if it's not a flaw at all?
I mean, really let that sink in. Because it turns out the very same brain structure that causes you to overthink, that incredible ability to see a million connections, to analyze all the possibilities, to constantly self-correct, that is also a classic sign of high intelligence. Your brain isn't broken, it's incredibly powerful.
Okay, so if the goal isn't to drive you absolutely nuts, what is your brain trying to accomplish? What's the real motivation here?
This is the most important part to get. Your brain's goal isn't to stress you out. Its goal is completeness. It's like a brilliant detective who physically cannot rest, cannot close the case until every single piece of evidence has been examined from every conceivable angle. It's searching for the full picture, and until it finds it, it just can't power down. So this is how it all plays out, step by step. First, something happens. An event, a conversation, bam! Your hyper-connected brain just lights up, analyzing it from a dozen different perspectives. Then, those cognitive loops start spinning, trying to find that full picture. And the whole time, that metacognitive supervisor is hovering over the process, making absolutely sure that no stone is left unturned.
So where does that leave us? What's the new way to think about this? It comes down to 3 huge takeaways. Number 1, stop beating yourself up about it. This is about your brain's structure. It is not a personal failure. Number 2, you got to reframe it. This whole thing is actually linked to a really positive trait, high intelligence. And finally, number 3, understand why it's happening. Your brain isn't trying to be difficult. It's just driven by this deep need for a complete understanding. So I really want to leave you with this one final question to chew on. What would change for you, I mean really change, if you stopped seeing your overthinking mind as a bug that needs fixing and started seeing it as a powerful feature, a kind of superpower of your highly analytical brain that you can actually learn to work with instead of against? Just imagine the possibilities.